How do you do the countdown?
Wait, what?
He didn't show me to do the countdown.
We're live.
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
It's live. It's live.
I know we're live.
I can see the live.
I know.
Okay. Hi, everybody. How are you all doing? My name is Shane. I'm a King Faye. This is Dominic D. Shine. It's gonna be us two tonight. Sadly, we don't have Charlie with us. We miss him in our hearts. Clearly, we'll be getting better at that. But
I didn't know. I thought the timer was with it.
Okay. But hey, everybody. So we're gonna talk about Andor episodes 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Obviously, Dominic wasn't with us last week, talking about 1, 2, and 3. But I feel like, and I think me and Dominic agree. We're going to be kind of just going over 1, 2, and 3 in the beginning half of our episode, just kind of asking about Dom's thoughts, what he thinks overall of the show. And yeah, so Dom, take us away. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that it is a wonderful start for gritty Star Wars.
Yes.
It's perfect. It's a perfect start. You got like from the police force of, I forget the name of it right now, but
so like the Primo guards,
Primo police force. You just see what I'll call the abusive officers, and you see it's a great showing of, if you want to mix you want a police show of Star Wars, you want something like Chicago PD but mixed with all different characters. Yes, it's like it has a section of that, which I really enjoy.
It's 1, 2, and 3 are definitely the beginning. I mean, me and Charlie agreed on this. It's definitely I don't know if you felt the same way. It's the slow episodes, but it's a good way to kind of bring us into dark, gritty Star Wars, because 1, 2, and 3, mainly 1 and 3, in my opinion, show us what it's like to be in this world. Obviously, I kind of joked around with Charlie this, like, you kind of assumed there were brothels in Star Wars, but you never thought you would see it,
The and assuming then, part, the assuming's the word. It's like, it's rubbed all over in like kids shows and everything.
And then you get it, like you literally get it, and you're like, oh my god,
Oh, this is real.
Yeah. So I can definitely review episode 1. Episode 1, it was like a great intro to the dark gritty. Episode 2 kind of getting you more into it. Episode 2 kind of did feel like a little more of like a normal Star Wars show episode. It was just, here's everything going on, here's who we're chasing, blah blah blah. It was a good episode, but episode 3 obviously was the jam-packed episode. We get Luthen, everything's happening. I think I was telling obviously Charlie this, but like, I love what's her name? I can't remember her name right now. The Andor's mom quoting like
I don't even know. Mars.
Yeah, it's like something like that, but it's like when the silence stops, that's when the reckoning comes. It's the silence that you wish you don't want to hear. Because once you're hearing all that noise and once it finally goes away, it's terrifying.
Marva, that's her name.
Marva, and so that was definitely awesome. And to kind of see, someone pointed this out to me as well. It's like, in episode 3, you actually sympathize with the Primo guards, because you're like, they're not really the bad guys. They're just doing their job.
That's how they're trained.
Yeah, and Andor is not the good guy. Andor is not part of. I mean, Andor, you can kind of argue that Andor is a good guy, especially in Rogue One near the end. But then, like, seeing him now, you can argue Andor is kind of not the best of guys, and that's what I think. And that's finally what I'm happy to kind of be seeing in Star Wars, is the show that the rebellion wasn't all good. You had some good people in the rebellion. Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, Leia Organa, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Wedge, Akbar. You had a bunch of like great leaders that would lead to being like hopeful, rebellious leaders and kind of inspiring that. But in the beginning of the years of the rebellion, the pockets that slowly form into the rebellion, and then once we get up to Yavin, they're not really so good. It goes back to my point that rebels are terrorists.
Yep.
In the first couple episodes, as I'm right now supporting the Empire. But you can kind of, that's what I kind of like to see from those couple episodes, that you're kind of seeing it from their perspective that they're not, we don't have really good guys yet. Good guys don't come until 4, 5, and 6. In my opinion.
I find it interesting that this is also the first time that we've seen the timestamp that us as the viewers of Star Wars have been using for years in a Star Wars media setting. We first see for the first time BBY on the screen.
Yeah, and I kind of like
but only
that.
once though. I like how they only did it once for the first episode. Yet I don't think they did it for the.
I think it's gonna happen again because the time scale is gonna happen soon, and they'll probably hit you of it again. Like we're now 3 BBY or 2 BBY.
It reminds me of I have the first issue of this comic, but I haven't read it yet, and I've been looking through it. It reminds me of, I think, Galactic Star Cruiser. Well, that's not. Wait, no, Halcyon something. Halcyon. It's shoot. They take points from. I believe, I could be wrong on this as well. That they do multiple time periods where it's on that same ship. I have not. And I'm gonna be frank. I have not read it yet, so I could be just speaking bull crap.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm blanking on the name.
It's like the Halcyon freighter. It has Barriaga on it.
Halcyon Cruise.
Maz was on it, and I've seen in some of it.
I know what you're talking about, but yeah. So yeah, seeing the BBY step is pretty great. But I think episode 3 was definitely our jam-packed episode of action. This is what we're getting into. And it was a great showing of these Primo guards are not the best at their job. It definitely showed obviously our lovely dude should have listened to his superior and saying push us under the rug or the Empire's gonna sweep in and take us out. So he clearly didn't, because it led to 6 more deaths. And then the worst part about it all, led to 6 more deaths, and now a rebellion is gonna form on that planet now.
A rebellion.
A rebellion.
Porky Pig.
If there's any thoughts that you want to add in 1, 2, and 3 real quick, it's up to you.
We other than just interesting little tidbits that we see a translation from Arabesh to English from the first time, and that's very cool. We also just it's just I like the fact that it's we just see this. I just lost my train of thought again, and I was like, this topic will not make sense. That I was about to say it was, but think Cassian Ender is I don't know why that's not a good topic. I don't know where I was going with that, but there's so much power behind episode 3, especially the revolt. What was it called?
I wasn't even calling it a revolt. It was just
not a revolt.
It was the sparking. We're gonna quote a good old Poe Dameron, who like the spark to bring the Empire down. Bring the First Order down.
I also like the droid.
Oh, I love the droid, but you're probably not gonna see him for a while.
Yeah, I know. But that didn't he have if I'm correct, didn't his feet look like Imperial mouse droids?
They literally did. Yeah, they did.
I love that we're getting to see more of new types of droids.
Yeah, they kind of just expanding our spectrum. That's what I always loved. So, I mean, episode 3, obviously one of the best of the first 3. But episode 4.
Ooh.
4.
Here we go.
I'm about to go on the longest tangent about my wife. Okay. So we get introduced to. We're back on Luthen, and we're back with Luthen, and we're back with Cassian, and we're obviously on his ship, which his ship, from the inside perspective, is clean. It is a great ship.
So clean.
I really hope
It has a
being
built-in
a Lego nerd. I really hope it gets made into a Lego set. And
it has a built-in droid.
Dude, it's awesome. It's really well, and we'll even get into more cooler details about the ship when we go to his Coruscant scene. But I love their interaction. They're like that in the first 10 minutes of the show, just is how they're going back and forth about you're gonna basically how Luthen predicts the future. He knows what's gonna happen. You're ultimately gonna die fighting the Empire in the end, no matter whether you like it or not. You're ultimately gonna die fighting them. So it's wouldn't you rather obviously the trailer quote, wouldn't you rather give it all to something real? At least give it all to something you can at least die for.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the interaction between both of them because it shows how Luthen is. It shows how Cassian's really not in on it, and it just shows their perspectives on this whole rebellion thing. And then obviously when we get down to the planet that he goes to, I'm blinking on that planet, but when we get there, obviously
Aldhani, like the name of the episode.
Yeah, Aldhani, Luthen. I love when he's. I mean, for you just watched it right now. To be honest, I watched it.
Yeah.
One day.
I literally did a freaking binge of all of Andor because I hadn't seen it until just today, and I finished 2 minutes before we started.
Mm-hmm. It was great. We were talking about it. I want to point out that obviously we get the Aldhani, and I don't know if Luthen's a Saw Gerrera of how he talks, but I kind of like how maybe he's just saying it to say it, or maybe he really means it. But how he says he's for rent, you can just throw him away if he's too much of a burden.
I don't think he's playing the Saw Gerrera of this. He's not I don't think he's a Saw Gerrera type of character because he seems like a character that puts different kinds of trust into people. He can tell him certain things, but to tell him to literally just make it seem either real that his lies are real, or it's just the fact that's you can do this, you can do this. Because it seemed it's to when he was talking with him that he found the right guy for the Empire. I feel like we're going to delve into more of what he's trying, what Luthen's plan is, and get to know who Mon Mothma's person is. I forget, because it seems like they're both made an agreement to look for people.
Yes, they both are obviously in agreement to look for people and hunt and try to get people on the side, But here's my thing. Yeah, definitely, and I think the Aldhani stuff is a little bit interesting. How it gives you the more world based of what the Empire does the worlds. But it kind of, this is weird. I'm going to go back to this, but it goes back to the Mandalorian real quick, and not really. I forget his name right now, but we're going back to the Mandalorian. All we go back to the season 1 of the Mandalorian. That one dude,
the buyer.
Buyer.
That's literally what his name was. I think there was just the purchaser.
The buyer. Okay. When he's talking to Mandalorian near episode 8, maybe 9, I think he's talking to him again.
Really?
And he's literally telling him, because they re-meet one another because the kid.
I thought it was just in the first 3 episodes.
No, he was in 8. He was in 8 or 9, and then he dies in 8 and 9. You have to rewatch Mandalorian because I can't remember that.
Me too. I need to rewatch it as well.
But he says the Empire, why get rid of the Empire? The Empire perfected every world it touched, and it's interesting to see perspectives on that because obviously, when you kind of do look at it, the Empire did actually perfect in its own way. If you look at what she's saying. She said a bunch of mountain tribes lived here, and then the Empire came in and relocated them to cities that they built for them. So it's yes, the Empire did a fucked up thing of relocating a bunch of people, which you should never do, and they should probably just stay out of the business. But you look at the other side, it's we relocated them because we obviously wanted a military base here. And no offense, we can't have people near a military base, and you guys probably don't want to be near our testing that we're going to do at this military base. So here's a bunch of cities and urban housings for you guys. Boom, we'll move you all here. Call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see like their perspectives. Is like obviously, as much as I'm Empire sympathizer, I know the Empire's bad, especially when it comes to the Emperor and Tarkin and a couple other people. I wouldn't really say Krennic, and I'll
They're
go.
far too trusting.
Yeah, but the Empire, a lot of people in the Empire see as the Empire has good intentions to bring stability to worlds, and the Empire did. If you really think about it, the Empire brought a good solid 19 years of peace to the core worlds, mid worlds, and most of the outer worlds, the outer rim worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And how they kind of, yes, the Empire did do slave trade and a bunch of other trades of those cartels, but we won't talk about that. But
we're not talking about that.
But the Empire did, in its own way, perfect worlds to its degree, you know, and then obviously we get into the Galactic Civil War between the two, and the Empire is like, fuck it, we're going to start bombing the fuck out of worlds now.
Yep.
That's literally what happens.
It's more science of rebellions because it starts. You have to because like the rebellion cell started from like compared to the freaking galaxy, this
Yeah.
a freaking picometer.
Yeah, and I was just talking to Dom about this right now. If you guys really think about it, we're in 5 BBY. It's 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. The rebellion does not form until about 3, maybe 4 BBY. So if it doesn't form about 4 BBY, you get 3 more years until the Battle. Then you have the Battle of Yavin, so that's like another year on top of that. And then I was talking to Dom, it takes about 5 years because you have A New Hope, which is the Battle of Yavin, and then you have Empire Strikes Back, which takes place a couple months after A New Hope, and then you have a year literally later, and you have the battle, and you have Endor. It takes 5 years to dismantle the Empire. Crazy thing.
No, 5 BBY is at A New Hope.
No, 5 BBY.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, it's before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah, before Battle Yavin. So that means it would start at A New Hope.
It takes 5 years to dismantle the Empire.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
We're in agreement.
I would say it would take a bit longer because it would be 5 years before that battle. That means the Death Star is gone, but the Empire is still there.
That is true. I'll give you that. But it's we're not gonna get into this right now.
We would say that it's it's fine, and you're fine. I didn't realize it until now. But that just means it's like it could just be about like 5 or 6 years still.
Yeah, I think But overall, if you kind of like, it's interesting to see the perspectives of the Empire, how they go on this. And then speaking about perspectives of the Empire.
Oh, you simping bastard.
Oh, my girl is so fun. But
all right, let's talk about the ISB agents.
We see the Imperial Security, the ISB. We see the Imperial Sector Security Bureau.
Are they on the side of the
basically the FBI? If you guys want to like correlate the ISBs, they're the FBI of the America. You know.
Okay.
It's so awesome to see the perspective of how they do shit, and I love to see how they control sectors because obviously they have for any of you that watched Game of Thrones, we have Maester Qyburn, such a great actor. I'm happy he's in the show. He does such a great job in the show.
Is he one of the front chair?
He is the one in the front chair. He's the one that's like, and I love his analogy of what they really do. I love how he did his analogy like that because he was perfect. He did a great point. He was like, if you really wanted to secure, then a Star Destroyer, maybe 2, maybe 3, send an Imperial garrison, they'll go secure a planet. We are here to hunt and find the germs and kill the disease before it happens. You know, which is really funny because he eats his own words when he doesn't listen to Trina. That's literally telling him that there's an entire like formation of cells working together now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It works as a disease. It works as a disease.
Oh,
it's a freaking pandemic of rebellion.
Yeah. But there's some cool Easter eggs in that room, and the first one is they talk. Well, not in the room when they're talking mostly. They mention the Ryloth sector.
That's true.
Mention the Ryloth sector, which, if we know right now, the Ryloth sector is in kind of a rebellious self. It's been a rebellious cell state. The Empire has control of the planet, but they're dealing with Hera Syndulla's dad, Mr. Syndulla. They're dealing with him, which he's still rebelling right now. Obviously, you're dealing with Hera in that sector. Nope. So you have Ryloth sector. By the end, by the way, they mentioned Scarif.
They did. Yeah, they did.
I mentioned that resources are being moved to Scarif because the Death Star is those basically happened how it was is that they moved. They said they always. It's really funny if you actually read some shit about the Empire. The Empire didn't tell a lot of people they were building the Death Star. They like kept
That's
it
true.
in like this defined little group, Krennic's area division, and a bunch of other people here. So basically, what they did was they said it's going to the Scarif sector to be moved there, and then once they got to the Scarif sector, it immediately got shipped out to the Death Star. They be processed and build more shit over there.
Did the Scarif sector? Well, it's a tropical planet. It's filled with many oases. Oh wait,
Yes.
oasi? I don't know.
Yes. Just continue.
But what else is on the Scarif sector? I haven't seen Rogue One in a while, so I forget. Like, why build the Death Star there?
It was a bunch of remote planets the Empire had control over that like really no one would knew about if it was being built there.
Mm-hmm.
So they were it was easy for them to hide it because it was a very heavy controlled Empire area. That it was in Tarkin's region too, so Tarkin could control it, and Tarkin was able to just like keep it away from everybody, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's brilliant.
So yeah, so there's the Ryloth sector, the Scarif sector. You had a couple other mentions about not really a lot. It was just mainly the analogy of like we hunt germs, which was a really dope analogy. And
It's
then
really cool.
I find it funny that he eats his own words.
He does eat his own words. I'm
I'm
sorry. They keep mutating into other different different germs.
You fucking idiot.
Our vaccines are not working.
Oh, and then what I did love about that is you can cut a little earlier ahead, but she's doing her like point of like I get to have jurisdiction over him because he's got something from my scene, you know, and he's like nah, and then take it up to him, and then they have like a back and forth, you know,
They're like on different sides of the room.
yeah. And they're having a little back and forth, and like he's giving like, okay, you go, okay, you go, okay, you go.
That's a really good way. Like he's organized to the point. I'm done with this bullshit.
Yeah, no, he's organized. He's like precisely organized.
He's intentional with everything that he says.
Yes, and it's great. Obviously, she made some great points.
Is that you being biased that you just really like her, or are you actually being serious?
I'm being serious and also being biased. But she didn't know. She made some great points. She made some great points. You can't deny of me. She made some great points. She had technically evidence that there has been an organized attack because same shit's being stolen, same methods being used across different sectors. You can't tell me it's not an organized movement, you know?
That's what it appears to be, yeah. So that makes sense.
I can't wait for her scene where she's like, there's an organized rebellion movement. Get a fucking hunt started, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that we see so many points of view of this.
Yeah, so I think, like I said this to Charlie last week. You have, I even said this before the show. You have Cassian, which is the main character, you know? Cassian, if you think about it, Cassian, Andor is the link to all of them. You know, he's the main character that's linking every single one to the story. And we're going to see all their point of views on him. You have Luthen. You have his ex-girlfriend.
Was it his ex?
Yeah. Yeah, basically for her. You have Drita. That's how you pronounce her name. Drita, the Imperial Inspector. You have our Primo Guard dude. And you have those four as our main perspectives of the show, and you have Mon Mothma. That's kind of linked back into this, you know, the show. And so it's really interesting to see all of that, you know. But obviously, it's good to see Coruscant again.
It is. It's like we get to see Imperial Coruscant. That's the thing. Here's something that I also want to talk about real quick. Just derailing about Coruscant. So let's go in the past real quick and talk about the frickin' after effects of frickin' Battle of Coruscant.
I saw.
Think about this for a second.
So I know you're going with this. We're going.
Yeah, think about this for a second. Why there's so many freaking ships from the Republic, from the Separatists, and just battle fight, just fighters all around the planet. And I mean,
Fighting one another.
dog fighting so close, like so close to one another, to the like right up
They're really
against
close
the
to the atmosphere, like where it
hemisphere.
crashes down.
Exactly. But also the amount of damage that would have caused, even like I don't care if it's like if it's up to a scale of the micro series like battle that one clip or the movies, there's still a lot. And so I think that damage would cause a ring around Coruscant. That would be
You want to go get my custom Lego Star Wars ships, and we'll dive deep into theory about that.
just no. What my point is that the debris that there's so much like battle and debris and
you can actually kind of see it, and
that you would see it that it would make up a ring around Coruscant.
Yeah, he technically should have.
That's how much I'm gonna. That's scary. I'm gonna like it's scary, and I wish Coruscant. I wish they would show that
they were so close to the orbit fighting one another that debris was falling on the city.
Yeah, and didn't one comic like one like non-canon comic where like Yoda, I saw a picture of this. Yoda caused a ship to be pulled to the ground with the Emperor and Vader on it, and they were on comms with it, pulling it down to Coruscant, killing them both.
That was my god. Okay,
that's that's not a canon comic. As far
no, I know what you're talking about. You're gonna be really surprised by this. So there's a comic. It's called Star Wars What If, and it's about if they didn't blow up the Death Star. In time.
This is wait, hold on. This is a canon or a fan made?
No, it's technically it's actually made by Star. It's made by Lucasfilm. They wrote a comic about this. It's what if they didn't blow up the Death Star?
Really?
Yes. So the Death Star beam hits Yavin, but Leia, Dudana, like a bunch of head rebels and a couple rebel ships get off the planet in time, but the Death Star still gets them. It tractor beams them back into the Death Star. Luke and Han get away, fly off, and all of this. Obi-Wan says, "Hey, I need you to land here."
You'll fuck up, Luke.
Han goes in the Dagobah, and then what happens is
Han goes to Dagobah.
Han goes to Dagobah just for a little bit. He goes, "Okay, hey, I'm out, kid. I can't do this anymore. Obviously, the rebellion's dead. I'm out." Okay. So then Leia gets caught with Vader. Vader finds out Leia's his kid. So he finds out, and he goes, "I'm going to train you." He gets permission by Palpatine. 5-year cutaway jump happens. Luke Skywalker is fully trained by Yoda and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. What about Han? Why is
Han paid off his debt to Jabba?
Okay, good.
And has been high smuggling for right now.
He's now into more debt.
So what happens is Luke calls. Basically, it's the Imperial Day of destruction of the rebellion.
Empire Day.
So Yoda, Luke, and Obi-Wan plan an attack on the Empire on Coruscant.
Oh my god.
Okay. Just those three. There is no attack. There is no.
Wait, hold on. Who is giving the attack?
It is just Luke, Han. It's Luke, Yoda, and a couple. And it's like Luke, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and there's like a couple rebel cells that still exist. And
Obi-Wan's not dead.
Obi-Wan is dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Force Ghost.
He's like manifesting Force Ghost with everyone.
So basically, what's happened is that there are some rebel cells who still exist, and they kind of want to resist against this. Okay. So Luke calls up Han and says, "Hey, brother, need you again. Need you to take me to Coruscant." And he goes, "Anytime for you, brother." They go out. They go to Coruscant. Yoda comes with him. And so it's the Imperial Day. So there's Imperial Day. So you have the Executive Star Destroyer, Vader's Super Star Destroyer, and the Executor. You have a shit ton of Imperial Star Destroyers, and the Death Star is over Coruscant. It's the Imperial Day. And Leia has been 5 years training with Vader and Palpatine.
They're fucked.
This is crazy. So they get down to the surface. Han says, "I'm coming with you, kid. I've given my life to smuggling. I want to give it something now, So they go together. They go breach the High Jedi Temple, where they're hosting it at. the palace, the Imperial Palace. This is where it all goes down. They go to the Imperial Palace. Luke, Han, a couple some rebel insurgencies are like fighting outside. Luke gets inside. Han kills some of the Imperial guards. Luke and Leia start just going at it with one another. They find out they're siblings through their connection, how they're fighting. Vader finds out his second kid is alive. Vader's like, "You motherfucker!" Vader finally turns around. It's like, "Wait a minute,
motherfucker!
You told me they were dead.
You told me they were dead. You talking to me?"
Mind you, I didn't say Yoda at this. Yoda said in the comic, Yoda goes, "Luke, I have something to do. You go deal with the Emperor. Your training has been complete. You know." Yoda takes a shuttle up to the Death Star.
Oh my god! Yeah, he dropped. That's what the ship was on. That's what the ship they were on.
It's all the way to the Imperial command area where they drive the Death Star, and Tarkin's in there, and he forced mind tricks Tarkin into fucking dropping the Death Star on Coruscant.
That's the comic that I saw. That's the picture.
Basically, what happens is Luke and Leia work out the differences. They team up. Han's with them, and then they kind of defeat Vader. And Vader's like, "Oh my god, my kids are alive!" And he kind of turns to the light. Anakin turns back to the light for a second, and basically what he does is he gets up, he cripples Palpatine in a certain way, and then he's like, "Run, my children. You won't be safe here. The Imperial sector, every Imperial stormtrooper will come for you right now." They get out. And then a transmission comes through. Palpatine's still on the ground. He's like trying to fucking get up while he's trying to kill Vader. He's getting up, and a transmission comes through, and it's fucking Yoda.
Fucking Yoda.
And Yoda is like, it was like, "Long time no see, old friend."
Long time no see, old friend.
And then Palpatine's like, "What do you want, motherfucker?" And he's like,
"Do you?
I come to bring you back a gift." And they just crash the Death Star around the Coruscant.
Farewell, fare thee well.
Yep. Greatest shit that ever existed.
Wait, no. Wait, hold. He's on the Death Star, so he's dying too, isn't he?
He's attacked by Vader. It's funny shit ever. It was great.
It's fucking funny.
It is. Now back to Andor.
What happened to Chewbacca?
Chewbacca is like with Han. He's kind of like, if you think about Chewbacca, non-important character. That's where.
Oh, poor guy. Okay, anyway, sorry for that derail.
Really funny derail. But Andor. So
we're on Coruscant.
We get back to Luthen, and I love how I love when we see Luthen ship. I love there's a hidden wall, and he's getting ready. I love how he has a wig on. He his real hair. His real hair is used for when he's out doing badass shit. But the wig is for his he's literally a Bruce Wayne if you think about it.
He is a Bruce Wayne. I literally thought he unruffled his hair. I looked away for 1 second. It was a wig.
Yeah, it's a wig. Because he puts on a wig, and then he gets it, and then he gets in the character like he's a fucking Bruce Wayne. He's like,
he reminded me of freaking Tom Holland from Spider-Man 3. Hey.
Character. And then I love how we get to the antique shop and we see Mon Mothma. I do like how. So a couple things I want to point out when it comes to Mon Mothma. I love how she says everyone she knows has been kicked out or replaced. I don't see how the Empire plays with it because they know people in the Senate do not support them. You know, Palpatine. So I love how it shows that. You know, so here's my thing. It's all about that. So obviously there are a bunch of Easter eggs in Luthen's little antique shop.
Oh yeah, it's a freaking antique shop. Of course, there's going to be Easter eggs.
So the first one that I'm going to take away is kind of major, and it's a little interesting playing into the fact of this. He has the symbols of basically the gateway into the world between worlds. He has the hand of the Father, the fist of the Son, and the other gesture, the
daughter.
The daughter. All right. So he has those gestures. So this is my thing. Something's gonna happen. I don't want to say it, but is something gonna happen to Luthen? Because somehow those three pieces are gonna be transported to the Emperor, shown to him, and then obviously he's gonna give the work off to the other dude that's in Rebels, and he's gonna find it.
That's how if he gets it, then that's how he can open up the world between worlds.
Yeah,
we see that in Rebels.
So is that where it's played into?
Possibly.
It's Possibly. So it's
What
very
was the other hand? What was the other tapestry that he was holding? Because there's another one with a face on it that was in that same little circle.
I'm about to get into this. So it's kind of like a lore in Star Wars, like it's the two serpent gods. Uh, it's the sun's. It's basically based off. It's the sun goddess and a serpent from the underworld sharing the same mouth. It's the two-faced divinity. I think it's called.
Have we seen it?
No,
Okay.
it's a Star Wars lore, but it's a little fun Easter egg because I was listening to this earlier. It's a little fun like takeaway because it's talking. It's a little analogy to Mon Mothma and Luthen. It's the two-faced divinity. They're working together. She's the sun goddess because she's staying in the light and pretending she's the sun goddess, and he's the serpent of the underworld because he's working in the shadows. And she's working in the light of the Senate, but they're sharing the same mouth because they're both having to play a pretend role of supporting the empire.
Indeed.
So I like about that. So there's that, and then we have obviously a Keldorian mask they use to breathe. It could be Plo Koon's, most likely not. I think
It was. Wait, where did he die?
Plo Koon got fucking vaporized. Like basically got blown up in his ship.
Where though? Was that confirmed? I'm looking it up.
It's I know where where he died. It's name with M. It's name with M. It's not my
809 Moidia.
Yeah, he died there. But he got blown up in his ship. He got shot down. So there's no way it's killed. There's no way it's mass.
He got shot down by his bros.
Yeah, he got the Gungan. There's a Gungan shield in there. You kind of missed it.
Was there a Gungan shield?
Yeah, there's a Gungan shield in there. You missed it just a little bit. It's not lit up, so you don't.
It's not lit up. I like. It's been a while since I've seen the movies and stuff.
Yeah, so there's a Gungan shield in there. We always have the Mandalorian armor.
Mandalorian chest plate.
It's Beskar.
It's Beskar, first of all. Yeah.
If it's Beskar, yeah, it may be Beskar. And then you have a Twi'lek family tree loom.
Did you? Was there?
It's all the way in the back.
Hold on.
And then the big one that everybody's talking about, while you look it up, sorry, my dogs. While you
Callie Corey
is Star Killer's mask.
They added a few things to make it look different. Either that or it was just the armor stand.
Now, there's a couple of things that episode 4 does continue. He also gives Cassian a kyber crystal. Not really a kyber crystal.
That's what I was thinking. Because like
basically a kyber crystal.
It's basically
But it's talking about the Rakatan invasion, the Rakatan invasion. That's Old Republic.
Because the shape of it looked like because of how the shape of it looked. It looked as long as the Old Republic. Like I've seen
the Rakatan invasion is Old Republic. That is literally pulled out of lore from Old Republic.
I love what they're doing. I've been watching a lot of Old Republic clips recently, and I'm getting into it.
Everybody's talking about real quick. Is that really Star Killer's mask? Could he be in this? And the answer is we do not know. Could be still. It's most likely not Star Killer's mask. It's most likely not Star Killer's mask. It's probably some arm. They're probably gonna play it off as it's armor from some culture.
They call it the Star. They call it the Star Killer.
If they call it the Star Killer, I'll laugh. Could Star Killer be in Star Wars? Yes. How they'll do it is an Inquisitor for sure. But we may never see it, guys, and we're gonna have to live with the fact that Sam Witwer's only canon character in Star Wars is going to be Darth Maul.
And that's okay though. I find that to be okay because I go with the analogy. I go with the analogy originating from Star Wars. Some legends come from truth. Some myths come from the truth.
Yeah.
And there's truth within them.
Yeah.
Because we have it right there. The Star Killer samurai mask. It just looks like when I first saw it, I thought it was Mandalorian guardsman armor. Like in the Duchess's room.
Yeah.
It looks similar to that. But because what was another thing I saw?
Now, I do want to point something out, which is kind of a little. You can go on your rant if you want to continue.
I don't think. No, you go first because I can't think of it right now.
So I want to point out something from Mon Mothma, husband. Um,
He's a
his
douche.
guest list is, like she says, considers is from a lot of imperial people who support the emperor and who are complete dicks in the Senate. But two of those guest lists are literally Palpatine's hands. It's remember how there was a
Come again?
you know how Palpatine was always sit in his high chair and he was sat next to one person and then Mazmina.
Mm-hmm.
The other girl, that's the one that's invited to the party.
The one that he unleashed his unlimited power.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's invited to the party. I don't think you'll see her there, but that's just a fun little nod at.
I love this. I love what I'll say this forever. I love what Star Wars is doing now, where we're getting longer episodes for these shows. We're getting
I want,
longer time spans.
yes. I want them to do this. If they do it again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you give us a season 2, you better fucking make it longer than 6. I think Kenobi should have been given 12 episodes. Like
It
Andor.
should have been. I feel like it should
You
because
could have dove into the character of Obi-Wan. You could have did some fan service and give us some flashbacks. There could have been more. You could have even showed the perspective of Vader a little bit more.
oh, indeed, like a more introduction of how the third sister got into the freaking Inquisitorius in the first place.
Like you could be doing what Andor's doing. You could have Obi-Wan's main character and then link Vader and her into it. You know, because they're both they're all linked to Vader, all linked to Obi-Wan. But overall, just Andor's episode 4. I think as much as we want to see Aldhani and what's going on with Cassian, I think the biggest takeaways are Luthen, Coruscant, the ISB agent, Drina. It's all those. You kind of take away more of that. Now, the Aldhani stuff is going to be important in probably episode 2, episode 3, well, episode 5 and 6, I should say. You'll probably see more of what they're going to do with the heist. Interested to see what they're planning. I really want to see that meteor shower.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking the eye. I feel like it could be this could be just false hope or just blind dreaming. Because I know they've mentioned the eye that could have just been like a supernova or just something in the middle, but it could be a reference to High Republic. I'm not sure. It's since they're referencing the old Republic. They're gonna be referencing a lot of things from every Star Wars media, and it goes to show that's the perfect thing of why I like to say that there's there's truth within myths. Yes, these people exist, but there's myths from these people. Legends is literally stories told down the line. Of course, things are going to be wrong.
Yes, if the old Republic was ever going to be told, I would love it. It's weird to say this, but House of the Dragon's doing it. House of the Dragon is being told from the perspectives of 2 people of how they interpreted the Dance of the Dragons. I would love to see the old Republic, Revan, her, Bastila, all this being told from a perspective. You don't have to hear the guy's voice at all, but you could see that it's being told from a certain perspective. You know?
Yeah, you got I'm trusting the fact that they're going to be doing a good Star Wars is just going to do a good job. They're doing a great job so far.
Yes, and it gives me faith in the other shows that are going to come out. I think I was already stoked for Mandalorian. There was no question about that. But Ahsoka,
they know what they're doing.
And Acolyte. If you give me fucking great stars like that, like you just give me right now, Andor, I will be completely satisfied.
Because I'll make sure to get caught up on the High Republic before I watch that show. We don't even know if we're going to get reference to come to think of it. There's only during the High Republic. There's said to be no active Sith attacking the Jedi because
Yes.
But we do know of like 1 to 3 that possibly are still alive, or just
You have Plagueis and his master.
Plagueis is wait, they're alive then?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Plagueis is alive
But
right
then
now.
there's another one that looks similar to like a freaking Rancor.
Yeah. There's a couple alive still.
Yeah, but they're not actively attacking. They're like,
Because you can't.
you can't attack.
Republic is literally the height of the Jedi Order. You really could not fuck with the Jedi Order at this time.
You can't. You can't.
You literally fucking can't. You have to wait until the prequel trilogy happens.
They're not even talking about like revenge at this point.
No, you can't. Palpatine. When Plagueis, when it finally rolls around the prequels, Plagueis now knows the Jedi are vulnerable.
Exactly.
He's played his cards right in the Senate.
The Jedi are at the peak.
Mm-hmm. You can't.
The Nile is just is just. They're hiding behind the Nile. I'm pretty sure. I'm not finished the Fallen Star yet. I don't know. They could be waiting for the Nile to cease before they can strike.
Yeah, that's what they're kind of waiting for. Now, before we go into a higher flow tangent, which we can go on a little bit earlier.
Let's finish this up.
Let's finish up. Episode 4 real quick. Overall, I'm excited. This show, as much as everybody's first complaints about 1, 2, and 3, where it's slow, it's too boring, or the stupid complaint. No, I'm just kidding. Every complaint is valid. I want to point it out. Every complaint is valid. Every opinion is valid. But I will not agree with the complaints and opinions that this is too dark and gritty. This feels not like Star Wars. I'm sorry.
They wanted it. They wanted it.
You wanted dark and gritty.
You can never satisfy anyone.
You wanted people wanted dark and gritty Star Wars. This is where we got, and it's great dark and gritty Star Wars from my point of view.
It's yeah, like whether you like it or not, Star Wars here's what people are saying. They're learning from what people are saying, what they like, what they want to be shown in Star Wars. Yeah. And they are given it. And like it's like people just want to just disagree and not appreciate just so they could not appreciate.
Yeah. But like I was saying, as much as 1, 2, and 3 were slow, anyone can argue 1, 2, and 3 could have been wrapped up and maybe in like 2 episodes. You have every valid point by that. But I think the purpose of 1, 2, and 3 was to drive up these characters, to show what's going to happen from moving forward. And we've just seen what's going to happen moving forward. I am calling out, my first theory is that Primo Officer Duo that's been fired is going to somehow end up working for Drina and the ISPA inspector. And
true.
That's what's going to happen. Calling it now.
They're all going to be I feel like they're all, like you said earlier, like they're all tied to Andor. It's either they're going to be fighting each other, some are working together, or just all 3. It's all a matter of how.
Episode 4, I think, is the great next into this, because you should be happy now. We got a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of good stuff. But like I said, in Andor, you're probably not going to get a lot of cameos. You may get like a cameo from an actor, like, oh, hey, cool, that guy, You may get cameos from other people, but you're probably not going to get a cameo of a character like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're not going to get a cameo of a character maybe of Cal Kestis.
We're not going to see Darth Vader either, because they don't matter here.
You're gonna hear Vader. You're gonna hear Vader. Like, you're gonna hear Vader's words. Like, oh, hey, this is. You may hear someone in the background be like, Lord Vader's in this sector doing this, this, and this. Like you may hear
name drop of Governor Tarkin.
They'll probably name drop Tarkin. They'll name drop Krennic, for fuck's sake. They'll probably name drop the Emperor in Mon Mothma. Like Mon Mothma may drop. The
Emperor may be at the freaking set, like the Senate.
That's the only cameo I'm calling out that is a high that's a possibility, and that's Palpatine.
Because here's what I'm saying. There can't be a Senate meeting without the Chancellor, if I'm correct. If from what I think,
it's the Emperor now, and he doesn't really have to be there.
He doesn't.
He can. It's a possibility.
But it's a matter of fact that he, like, if he has to call off like this, like we even hear of the Senate being this like what I forget the word, dissembled. Just dissembled in A New Hope. We hear of it at the meeting. But that's just about it. And we're going to see it. Excuse me that I've been so freaking sick in my throat.
Dying.
I'm dying. It's the fall season.
I get it. I feel you. But that's the only cameo you're possibly gonna see. Probably that's the only one you're gonna see. You may get there's gonna be name drops with all these characters, but let's be honest. Why is Obi-Wan gonna show up in Andor? Why is he gonna do it? He is kind of doing his own thing at Tatooine. He's being trained by Qui-Gon. Why is he gonna show up?
He's not here. He's not there.
You're right. Cal Kestis could totally show up because Cal Kestis' Fallen Order game is taking place in 5 BBY as well around this time. You know,
around this time, yeah.
Yeah, cool. You could see him, but most likely you're not gonna see him. He's doing his own shit. Why are we gonna see Vader in this show? If you guys are asking
why
the show, why are we gonna see him? We know Vader's just gonna dog walk all of them
because isn't Andor focusing more on the army rather than the Navy?
Yeah. You're not gonna see Vader. You're not gonna see Vader.
We're gonna be seeing the difference between the Navy and the Army.
Why would Vader be here? Unless it's a serious issue like there's a Jedi here. Massive rebellion movements are happening here. We need you in an army. We need you in leading the frontline sector against this blah 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 push. You know, you're not gonna see Vader here. He's not gonna deal with shit that's below him. That's Vader.
We're not in the Clone Wars anymore. We do not need a Jedi or a Sith in a battle of a planet trying to be of this. They're not here. You're not gonna be saved. You're not gonna be led. They don't matter here.
Sorry, sorry everybody. But this is Dark and Ready Star Wars, and I'm calling now. You're gonna see a lot more gruesome deaths in battle scenes that are gonna happen in the show.
Oh yeah, we're gonna probably see like the freaking like all we've seen right now is just like concussion, like bludgeoning damage and blaster shots. We're probably gonna get some more gruesome stuff.
Someone's gonna get hanged.
Oh yeah.
Like it's Dark and Gray Star Wars. We have to you're not gonna see these guys. And so far, episode 4 is pulling up to that, and I'm really happy to see episode 4 diving into deep more things about I never guessed there was gonna be a lot of heists going on, and this is the only heist, but I never guessed there was gonna be heists. But it's dope. It's gonna be really excited to see what's gonna happen in episode 4. Now we can gladly go on the tangent about the High Republic.
All right, here we go.
So yes, the so overall, Andor episode 4 is gonna be good. Now we're gonna go into probably a 10-minute rant about the possibilities of Acolyte and the High Republic, and probably the other Star Wars shows are gonna happen. Mainly Acolyte, but no, you could. I think Acolyte's focusing on the Sith, so you're not seeing them. You're not gonna. You may. I mean, you could see a Jedi in Acolyte. True.
Possibly. I'd rarely see. I think maybe one from the books.
Yeah, one from the books,
or a new one.
But I'm really thinking about the Acolyte. I think you're gonna see Plagueis.
I feel like too. I feel like we're gonna see the Dark Council. Yes. We may get our first Dark Sith Council.
Yeah, you probably see them and see what they're doing. It's interesting to see how it all plays out.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Yes.
Do you think I'm gonna say this right now? I am not that familiar with the old Republic. What are your what are your thoughts of there if there's going to be a Sith pure blood? Do you think there will?
No, I don't think there will be. I think they're all dead by this point. Obviously, you can bring them out of the dead by explaining for some reason, but I don't think you're going to see one.
Somehow a Sith pureblood's alive.
Yeah. You're not going to see one. If you're ever going to see a Sith pureblood is if they ever do the Old Republic films.
That's true.
They died.
What's the difference between the night? I'm sorry. It's just we have Old Republic game and the Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic focuses more on Revan.
Okay.
Old Republics in general about the Old Republic. It's so weird because it's so weird to explain the Old Republic because at first the galaxy was split at a time was a bunch of sectors at the time just controlling their own regions, and then the Galactic Republic was formed, and then they did their treaties and they took more to this. They took south and northern regions. And then the Mandalorians held their sector as the Mandalorians, and then you had the entire Hutt cartel and Hutt spices in their area, the Hutt space cartel area. So you have the Galactic Republic mainly on this side, Mandalorians on this side over here, Hutts down here.
Yes.
That's how they played out in the Old Republic for the longest time. And we'll actually remove this section. The Naboo sector was all on at the time before they finally truced up to one another,
Oh yeah.
So The Republic is basically all about that. The Jedi are teamed up with the Republic, and then the Sith come in. Basically, I think treaty with the Mandalorians, like they help out the Mandalorians, and that's when the Sith Empire gets formed. And then just walks over half that. Because it's the Sith Emperor. It's the Sith Emperor that's it's fun fact. There's literally the most badass Sith of all time. And you know what they only call him? The Sith Emperor. That's all they call him.
What they call him?
He's only called Sith Emperor. You don't get any proper.
Really? Well, yeah, we have the Empress too at times.
Yeah, but you just get the Emperor. Because all you hear about him is all they say is that the Sith Emperor did this, the Sith Emperor did that. You know? Because you really never see him at all either. He just stays in his like area. Like honestly,
you have the voice of the Emperor. I know that.
Yeah, but he's so smart because he's the one. He's the one. Basically, the Sith Empire and Old Republic go at the Republican Empire, the Sith Empire go at war with one another, and they basically split a giant region like this across the like galaxy. They're going at it. The Jedi and Republic are losing the war. They cannot hold the Sith Empire back at all. So what happens is the Sith Empire, for some reason, sues for peace.
Sue.
Basically, what they say, let's meet on Alderaan. We'll talk about peace discussions there. Most of the Republic, like the Chancellor and all these like high Republic officials, go to Alderaan, and some of the high members of the Jedi Order go to Alderaan, and they begin to talk about peace. Meanwhile, it's the entire Malgus thing. It's the entire Malgus cinematic when he attacks the Republic and Jedi Order.
Ooh.
And basically, so they capture Coruscant, and the Sith turn around and be like, "This wasn't a sue for peace from us. It was a sue for peace from you." So yeah, the Old Republic. If the Old Republic was ever going to be done, I would really see the Old Republic.
I also think in the Acolyte, we're going to get ties to the Old Republic as well.
Yeah, you'll probably get a lot of mentions about what happened because the Old Republic, it ends up the Sith losing like completely. But I will see the Old Republic for two reasons: just not the Jedi Mandalorian war. That would be dope to see. But
it would be freaking cool.
But a battlefield of just Jedi and Sith going at it.
Do you think that in the Acolyte we'll get to see the Battle of Malachor?
That's a giant possibility.
Wait, that's in the Old Republic, isn't it?
Yeah, but it could be a flashback.
It's very possible, and I am very excited to see what they have.
I think Darth Bane comes around that time and basically says, "We're gonna die. I'm gonna kill all of us first." You know. That's what happens. And it'd be really interesting to see. You know.
I'm so excited. I can also hear myself on your end.
I can hear myself on your end.
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't know how that's possible, you bullshit.
See, Charlie, this is what you get when you leave us alone.
Is a good job. Is there any last minute topics you want? I mean, here's my thing, real quick. We can talk about this real quick for like 2 minutes. Sad to say, James Earl Jones officially retired.
That's true.
But it's interesting to know, and it's kind of like satisfying to know that no one's going to replace his voice because he signed off and did an entire archive of like voice footage for them to use, like the next God knows how many years of his voice, you know, and like Vader clips. I think I'm calling it out. I think Obi-Wan, that wasn't James Earl Jones. I think it was just actual clips from him. It
was clips of him.
They
said it in the credits.
Yeah. See, like
I recognize the I in "I will tolerate your weakness a little longer." From I.
Yeah. You can tell because it wasn't like one flowing sentence. It was like there's a different pitch in the I. There's a different pitch in that one word. You know.
I love it.
I love it, but it's good. It's kind of sad to know as much as we're gonna lose him. From like he's retired now. At least he's still gonna be with us in Star Wars, you know. But overall, I think
whether they keep with the electronics with him sound clips of his voice in honor of doing that. Whether they keep that or have a new voice actor, it's still we still love the character. We respect all the actors who played him. And it's like same thing with Mon Mothma. Like they changed because like the original can't play her anymore, so you have to recast her.
Yeah,
We still respect both of them.
Yeah. I'm happy to see where Star Wars is. Star Wars has a bright future, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, they're learning from like I said before. I keep repeating this, but they're learning from their audience. They know what their audience wants.
Yes. You want to know who could take a you want to know who someone can take a tips from that and points right now? Marvel. But we're not gonna talk about that. If at least Lucasfilm and Disney on that side is listening to their fans.
Yeah, especially Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, who was in Marvel.
Yeah. So it's good to see where Star Wars is going. I'm happy to see it's going in a positive direction, especially with Andor. With all these other shows are going to come out. Star Wars is a bright future overall. I mean, I have nothing else to add. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm liking this. I'm excited for this Wednesday.
All right. Then I think we can wrap it up.
Alrighty.
I can do it.
Charlie, if you're watching this, teach me how to do the countdown.
Charlie, you're not here, so
I know, but whenever he's watching this, you never told me how to do the countdown, and I didn't know it was not a part of the thing. I'm not blaming you.
Right.
It's that we panicked.
All right, everybody, let's do this. So thank you all for joining us at Sundari Broadcast System. Where you can find us on our social medias is Sundari Broadcast System, or another way to find us is you can find me. Well, you can find our social media at Sundari Broadcast System and our YouTube, which you guys are clearly on right now. But to find me, I'm King Faye. I'm King Fade, or how you ever want to pronounce it, I don't really care. You can find me on my TikTok social media by just typing in King Faye Official, clump them together, of course. Find me on my social media. I do have my own Discord links there that will lead you into Star Wars Unity, where it's a server that it's a server community of where Star Wars fans can have fun and talk. But Unity will also lead into Sundari Broadcast System, where you can meet us there as well, and you can meet all of us and talk to us, and get our own opinions and where we're at and certain things. But overall, that's where I'm at.
You can find me on Instagram at dshine12. You can also find me on TikTok at dshine12 and on Discord at dshine12. And you can also join the Sundari Broadcast Discord. That's linked right below. Join us.
Yes.
Join us. You can talk to us. Give us ideas of future episodes that you want us to talk about. And if you want, what was that?
What content they want us to cover?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just here to talk. We're interested in what you have to say. What's your thoughts on Andor and everything? Make sure to keep putting in the spoilers chat. But
other than that, I'm happy you guys joined us for another episode. Obviously, for those who are watching it and after we were live, we're sorry that we missed you. But we hope you all have a great night or have a great day whenever you're watching this. So have fun, guys. Take care. May the force be with you, and please be safe out there. All right.